Hey everyone, it's Chris and I'm back. Today I'm gonna show you guys a drawing I did of a panel from the One Punch Man comic. The One Punch Man manga. I am a big fan of One Punch and I'm a big fan of Yusuke Murata. I'm a big fan of One, so I figured, I wanted to draw one of the panels from season 2 of One Punch Man that just came out a couple of months ago. And Yusuke Murata is the name of the creator of the actual series, but Yusuke Murata is renowned for being one of the most well-known manga artists. His art is very detailed. It's very sophisticated, it's very complex, and it was just kind of perfect that he was one of the main artist to work on One Punch Man. You couldn't really ask for any more when it came to a manga. And so in the second season of One Punch Man, one of the critical scenes that we see is when Garou, the monster, the hero hunter, one of my favorite characters for sure, runs into TankTop Master. And, unbeknownst to them, Garou is actually a student of Silverfang or Silverfist. I think Silverfang. And he has this flowing rock fist thing, but the panels that I did were the scenes where they kind of just go up against each other, and it's just kind of spectacular just to see the motions and the fight that he puts up against him. I didn't really capture all of that, it's only a couple of panels, but it looked so good. I just wanted to go ahead and just do a couple of the panels from the manga, and I can't really compare it to Yusuke Murata, but I just thought it'd be cool to just do a couple of these panels and just see kind of how it turned out. TankTop Master is probably the funnest part to draw out of this whole thing, simply because he takes up almost one page, and he's just kind of like cocking back, getting ready to throw a punch. But a very challenging part of this was actually adding the words to the bubbles, because it's a certain type of font, and I was just trying to get it right. And then after a while I was just like, all right, whatever, I don't really care too much about the font and the bubbles. But I actually did want to kind of start getting into redrawing a comic that I was doing, and I was kind of drawing the comic and then looking at the actual drawing of a manga page that I did, just to kind of put them side by side. And the comic I did was, not even as close to detailed or as good as these manga panels that I drew, but it was a good learning experience, because he's pretty much drawing all of this out of his head, and when you're actually sitting down and drawing without a reference, it's a different creative process that you're going through. And a lot of times I'll kind of have an idea of a drawing that I want to do, or a scene that I want to play out on page, and it usually ends up being completely different from what I actually draw. So for people to have like a storyboard and a whole sequence that they're following, and to be as accurate as they are, it's very, very difficult. So definitely kudos to him for just, receiving the script from the One Punch Man creator, and then actually making such action-packed, detailed scenes, because it's really just spectacular. I only capture a little bit of it. Definitely pick up the manga if you don't have it already. I rewatched the first season on Netflix, and then I came back and I was just doing this manga page while I watched the second season. It's not on Netflix yet, but I watched it on my iPad. As most people know that haven't seen it, the second season, it's not as good as the first one. The first one was just a combination of everything coming together perfectly. A better studio, better artists. Well, I don't want to say better, just very talented artists coming together to basically just make this map of a show. Anyways, the thing that kind of threw me off with this was doing the line work and then doing, the panels in different grays, because the only thing I used was different tones of French gray. I didn't use any, like colors, and it's just looking at different tones, which was a little bit different, but not that difficult. So you're looking at like the shirts, like if you look at Garou's shirt at the top, it's a lot, it's just pretty much black, and then it's like a medium kind of French gray, and then the picture adjacent to it was kind of the same thing with just like a medium gray and then a lighter gray for the pants. So the line work was actually a lot harder to do than the color, because it was just really tones, different tones that you're working with. And after the first panel you kind of get used to it. But right here with TankTop Master, this was such a large panel to draw, so much fun. And you really see like the fierceness in his face, and he's cocking back. You see the motion in his fist, and you can get a good idea of the different techniques that they use to just show motion and show emotion. And there's just so much built into this frame. And then I kind of did something I'm not really used to, was doing the lines in the background for I guess to show like the speed that the characters are moving. So I just took a ruler and I kind of did the line work there. That was probably the least the least fun part of the drawing to do, but it was it turned out well. It turned out well. Still, it's not as good as the manga. Again, go look up the manga if you haven't read it. But I tried, okay, but the little parts were crooked, and I wasn't too worried about getting it perfect, because whenever you do like monotonous things like this, they're pretty much using computer programming to do like a sequence of different lines like that. So I didn't make it exactly like how I saw it, but I think I came pretty close. So that's all I was pretty much going for, just to get so you get the general feel of the drawing and how it looked. But yeah, it's crazy the amount of like talent and skill the guy has to really just come up with these pictures out of his head. He even takes like the reference material from the original comic that the creator drew, one, and he just makes it so much more detailed, and just it looks really, really good. So the next panel coming up that I did was when he just kind of counter punches TankTop Master in the face, and this part he's using like that flowing fist water crushing rock. I don't even really remember what he called it. But I think the part that took the longest was TankTop Master's hand right here. That was the one that really took the longest. But it's really cool. Like, there's a lot of people that just kind of come up with their own manga. I was really looking into it. A lot of people come up with their own manga and then they post it on different sites. There's actually a lot of fan art of people that draw One Punch Man or their own comics, and it's really cool to see different people drawing their own manga. And I think Yusuke Murata, he streams himself just working on each panel, and it'll take them a couple of hours to do it, but you can see, like, I actually watched some of his drawings. You can see him do it step by step by step, and just see how it all just kind of comes together. My whole drawing process is a little bit different than his, because he's usually drawing like more specific. I don't know how he maps it out or how he does it, but with me, I even when I have reference material, I kind of draw like really really basic shapes like circles and squares, and then I kind of put it together and get more detailed. And the thing about me too is I get kind of bored drawing one thing, so I'll kind of jump around a little bit. But he has a really good efficiency. He's been doing it for a while, and it was really cool to see him just almost effortlessly draw these pictures and seeing them come to life. I did watch the anime before I read the manga, and then after a while of looking at the second season, I just kind of got bored. The way they do the anime is they pretty much just copy off of the manga, so he's basically providing reference material for the people that are animating the actual anime, so that's pretty cool. And to be honest, sometimes the manga looks even better than the anime. It's really sick. It's really crazy how good this guy is, and just how high he sets the bar for the people that are working on this project. And the way he takes the original creator's drawings and really brings them to life, he doesn't change it too much. He just kind of makes it look better. It's like those drawings where people a lot of YouTubers take like their kids' drawings and they redo them, so to be like 10-year-old professional artist redraws a 10-year-old's drawing or something. Like, not to say that the other guy's drawing is really that bad, the original creator one, but when Yusuke Murata redoes a picture, it's really just really good. For this, there's just a bunch of lines, and I was just like, all right, whatever, just let me let me just draw these bunches of lines. Nobody's gonna really care. So this was pretty much the end of it, and these are just the people in the background that are kind of shocked to see Garou retaliate.